everybody, I'm Shane from Lost Coast Longboarding, and today I'm going to teach you how to skate on a pump track. Alright, so some of the basics I want to cover in this video are some simple tips and the tricks that I use to gracefully cruise on a pump track. What is the ideal skateboard, longboard, surf skate? What's the ideal thing to ride on a pump track? The correct answer is there's no right answer. You know, everybody rides the board that they're comfortable on. You know, some people like a stiff, rigid, very stable board. Some people like a flexy, responsive board. My suggestion is whatever you're most comfortable with, use that. Start with that. And then if you want to change from there, you can see the benefits of each board. People online prefer a short deck, usually stiff deck, but I just think that it's more fun to use a flexi deck. It's responsive and I feel like it pushes back. It feels like you're surfing the cement. Alright, so now I'm going to teach you a little bit about why I, as an athlete, prefer using a longboard in the pump track. So the idea of going fast in the pump track, you want to go down the rollers, you want to go down as much as you can. So when you use a longboard versus a shortboard, you can see right here, there's a perfect example. Both of the wheels on this skateboard are going up the hill, which is slowing you down because of gravity. But the front wheel on that board is already going downhill. So you can be going downhill sooner on a longboard, which means you can propel yourself for more time than you can on a shortboard. Cool. All right, another reason I like a longboard in the skate park is because of the stance. It allows you to have a wide stance, a solid stance, you know, a stable platform for going fast. When your feet are close together, it's easy for the board to slip out and shoot out from under you. But when you have a wide stance and a longboard, it's a very stable platform for going fast and cruising. Having both your feet between the trucks means that you can put 100% of your body weight on either foot and the board is not going to tip up or shoot in either direction. And that allows you to be able to go down the hump and push with all your might on one side, but then also as the hill transitions, you can put all your body weight on the other foot. And that is why I prefer the loaded Vanguard to any other board when cruising a pump track. Alright, so now you might be telling yourself, okay, but longboards scrape on the pump track. And yeah, sometimes they do, but that's not a bad thing necessarily. The scraping might eventually damage your board, your deck, but there's rails for that. You can put rails on any board and it'll allow you to slide over the concrete or the asphalt if your board would touch. My board doesn't scrape on this pump track, which is good, showing you that they don't scrape on all the pump tracks. But you can also see that I have a Flex 2 here with a wide wheelbase, which helps when you're trying to put all your body weight down on one side to go faster. But having a wider wheelbase may also make your board scrape in the middle. Luckily, there's multiple lengths of the loaded Vanguard. So I usually use a Flex 2, that's a 42-inch board, but there's also a Flex 3, which is 38 inches. So you can see that the wheelbase is shorter, just slightly, but it's longer than your average skateboard deck. So it's ideal for the pump track. Plus, it's got the fiberglass bamboo composite of loaded decks to give you that bounce, that trampoline effect, the flex, push it back into your energy and into your cruising. Yeah, so if you're interested in riding on a completely one-of-a-kind loaded Vanguard, check us out at lostcoastlongboarding.com. Hand painted by me. So we appreciate the support and it'll help you have the right tool for the job. Another thing I want to cover with you is weight distribution. And this plays a huge and a crucial part of your success as a pump track rider. All right, so now I'm going to talk about some body weight management and the position of your feet and just yourself while you're cruising the pump track. All right, so like I said before, right now your body weight is going down the hill. So most of my body weight is going to be on my front foot going down, 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 down. And then once my back wheels are over the crest of the hill, now I should start putting all my body weight on my back foot. So it pushes down, so I'm going downhill really fast as I can. And then at this point, I'm also compressing my body and I'm getting ready to jump. So I can jump over the next hump. And so I'm going down and then I jump and I try to be as light on my feet as possible when going up the hill. Almost if you couldn't be on your board at all, you want to jump over the hill and then put all your body weight on the front as you're going down the hill. As you're going over the hill, put all your body weight on the front. And this is going to make you go downhill fast. And then once your back wheels are over the crest, put your weight on your back foot. And this launches you that way. And then jump. Same thing, jump over, and then you put your body weight on the front and down, and then jump. 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 All right, so my body position, I'm trying to put the weight of my foot down, down. All right, so a lot of these physics and these little tricks that I'm teaching you to go faster in the pump track, if you need to, you can reverse to slow down. So this would be useful when you're in a crowded pump track and a scooter kid or a bike or someone else on a skateboard is going slower in front of you. And once you start going fast, you go around the turn, someone's right there, you need to slow down a little bit. So just like I told you about your body weight before, if you put all your body weight going downhill, it's going to make you go faster, of course. But if you need to slow down, you can reverse that and put all your body weight going uphill, and that will slow you down. So you can see that I can lean back, and then it'll take me backwards because I'm not trying to go over the crest and down the hill. I'm trying to put my body weight up the hill to slow me down, so I'm going uphill for every hump. And I can lean back, and I can use my body weight, and now I can push forward and go this way. Or I can try and go up the hill and lean my body weight going uphill to resist and put my momentum in the other direction. Back. And then now I'm trying to go down the hill, trying to go down. Okay, now I'm gonna try and go up the hill and slow down. And put my body weight going up the hill to slow down. Cool. And so that will help you not just go faster, but also control your speed at the pump track. All right, so a beginner tip when you're first, say you just get to a pump track, you've never been here before, and you want to know how do you get started. Foot placement's important. You want your feet spread wide and perpendicular to the board, so you can go on your toes or you can go on your heels. And then as you start going downhill, you're bending your knees. You want to bend your knees, a lot of give in your knees, and you're kind of leaning forward. So it's okay to almost touch the front of your board, just to kind of know that your body weight's going frontward. You're not trying to balance going backwards. You're trying to go down. You're trying to go fast. You're trying to go forward at least. Lean forward. Bend your knees. Alright, so we're talking about jumping and its correlations with pumping. When you're skating on the pump track, don't think about it as going up and then down and then up and then down. What you're trying to do is you're jumping over each hump. So when you come to about here, your body weight is, you want to be jumping. So it feels like you're jumping over this and then landing downhill. And then jump over this and then land going downhill. Jump and then land going downhill. All right, so essentially what I'm saying is the better you are at jumping, the better you will be pumping on the pump track. So the best thing you can do to improve your abilities on the pump track is off the track, improve your abilities to jump. So if you're not good at jumping and you go on a trampoline, you can still jump high. So that's one reason I really enjoy the flex of this series of Lost Coast Longboarding loaded Vanguards. That flex allows you to push into the pump track, and it also pushes back, which helps you jump higher, which helps you push harder and expel more energy into the track. A trampoline, yes, a trampoline can make you jump higher and maybe jump stronger than you used to be. But another thing that a trampoline can allow you to do is jump as high as you regularly can, but easily. If you just stand there and did the same effort, you would be going higher than if you were just doing it on the ground. So you're not necessarily trying to jump as high as you can, but you're allowing the board to do the work, and you're allowing the board to reciprocate that energy back into your jump. So when you're... Right, another simple tip is to ride switch as much as possible. So you can unlock the skill of riding backwards, or whichever is the switch to your regular stance. You know, it's like a whole new pump track and do it all over if you can do it switch, if you can do it backwards. So it's fun. And then just being able to ride on a pump track switch in either direction will help you skate off the track if you're skating street, or if you're longboarding down a hill and you do a power slide, you know, 180, and then you're heading the other direction. Now it'd be good if you're already comfortable going fast that direction. So that's a good thing. Oh, also you can do this. Are surf skates good for the pump track? Yeah, if you like them. To me, they feel unstable at high speeds. I think to gracefully cruise around a pump track, you have to be going fast. And from my personal experiences, once I start going really fast with a surf skate, the responsiveness interrupts what I'm used to, interrupts my flow. But it almost limits my speed, which that's okay. Every skater knows you have a different board and a different style of riding for each different environment. So if you like it, do it. And just have fun, that's the important part. And be nice to people. Alright, so you just got to the pump track and you're getting started. You've never been here before. Maybe what should you do at first? So what I like to do first is kind of walk around the pump track, you know, just kind of get a feel for this track in particular and where the turns are. And also it's very important when you first get to a pump track to look at the ground. Gravel is like a killer. Yeah, cool. So always be sure to get any loose rocks or any gravel off of the pump track before you skate. Centrifugal force keeps you to the side of the wall, but that same force is what causes your board to slide on gravel. So anywhere there's turns, really be aware of the surface. And it's a good idea to walk around the track when you first get there too, because if there's a big crack or a hole in the pavement or the asphalt that you're not aware of, if you're on the track already going 15 miles an hour, so there's nothing you can do. So just walk around, check it out, be safe. All right, so when you first get to a pump track, it may look kind of confusing, but it is a track, and there's some order to it, I guess. You know, you got to stay on the track. When there's nobody here and you have an empty pump track all to yourself, go wherever you want. But when there's traffic, it's very important to be aware of others, to be aware of your surroundings, and to be aware of the traffic flow. So you can see some pump tracks have directional arrows, and I mean, from this you can tell that you're supposed to come out of the track this way. And then if you look this way, you can see there's another arrow over here indicating that way. So you should enter the pump track over there. But then you also come to areas like this, where there's arrows going both ways. So that is basically indicating to you that people are coming out of the pump track and going into the pump track. So if you follow the arrows, you're gonna do the same lap every single time. So use your discretion and your awareness of your surroundings to see where other riders are, but don't be afraid to go over berms and to take the arrows the opposite way. If there's no one around and you're not going to hit anybody, you can do the same track, you know, 100 times. If you don't change your route ever, it's going to get really boring. So just simply riding it backwards, every left turn is going to be a right turn, and every right turn is going to be a left turn. So you'll get to try toe side and backside, heel side. Some pump tracks have arrows, but not all pump tracks have arrows. So the directional flow, the traffic flow is arbitrary, go wherever you want. But there's also tracks that without official indication of routes, locals sometimes are like, this is how you do it, like that guy's an idiot for going backwards, he's supposed to go the other way. So kind of be aware of the environment, you know, because some places like that because they're comfortable knowing someone's not going to hit them, and they don't have to kind of be aware of who's coming at me. I can just focus on what I'm doing. Yeah, so read the room and be safe, be considerate, be nice to others, and have fun. Cool, so you swept off the track, but still your first time at the track. Where's a good spot to start? The answer to that is a straightaway. So obviously there's turns and banks and berms all over the place, but most pump tracks have some sort of straightaway section. This is the best spot to get started. Clearly just because you're going straight, you know? And so a good practice, like I said before, try and ride switch as much as you can. So take the straightaway and then work on your body weight positioning to help with your momentum. That way you can practice going down the hill and then use it, reverse it to go up the hill and then backwards or switch. I'm sure you can tell already when I skate, it looks like I'm doing a lot of this on the pump track. And what's going on in that situation is me, when my legs are extended, I'm jumping, essentially. I'm jumping over the hump. So my legs are real bent when I'm here, because in order to keep my feet on the board, I can't leave the board, you know? So my torso kind of stays the same, but my legs end up absorbing a lot of that jump. So I bend my legs here. So I'm essentially like this, really low, and my board's high. And then when I get to here, I extend. When I'm going down is when I'm extending. This is when I'm jumping. And that's the energy going downhill, propelling me forward. When I'm crouched like this, I'm avoiding energy being pushed into me by absorbing it by bending my legs. And then as I displace that energy back into the board as I jump, when I'm right here, these wheels are going downhill and these wheels are still going uphill. So my body weight is on this foot going down. But more than just my foot, my torso, my body, my chest, my shoulders, I'm also leaning forward. I'm trying to get as much down force on the downhill slope of each roller as possible to go fast. So that's another reason I essentially exaggerate the jumping motion, is because I'm actually pushing my energy, my weight down on this side of the board. And I'm trying to be as efficient as possible. So I'm using all my body weight the entire time. And this is an example of how being a good jumper makes you good at pump tracks. Not necessarily jumping as high as you can, but being able to jump consistently and strongly as possible for a long time. Another good thing to be aware of in a pump track, you understand the pump and you understand how the rollers work, but you don't have the confidence to go in a turn. That's okay. Most pump tracks have a smooth option that goes to flat on top, so you don't have to take the bank turn. For this turn, you would come up this way and then over on the red line. But if you're not ready for that turn, you can just keep going up to the flat area. And it's slower and more mellow. Riding the pump track is a lot of looking where you're going, not where you're currently at, but like where you're going to go, and anticipating the next move. Different vehicles at the pump track run different routes. So a skateboard, a longboard cruising the pump track may not run the same route as a mountain bike or a BMX bike. This is a good example of being aware of your surroundings. I'm coming into this turn, but I'm looking over there. Are there mountain bikes? Are there BMX? Is there a scooter? Like, what's going on? You kind of got to know who's behind you, who's coming at you at all times. Right as you're here, unexpectedly, a mountain bike jumps over the berm, and now they're going right at you, so boom. The turns are the hardest part of the pump track. You know, if you're a beginner and you've gone the straightaway, you've done the humps, and you're comfortable with the feeling of going up and pushing your momentum and going down the hill, now you're going to come across a turn. What do you do at a turn? It's completely different than going straight. So here's a good example of a turn. So what's the best route when you're coming into a turn? Ride as close to the line as possible when you're on a turn. But you want to be close to the red line. If you avoid the red line, say you're going slow and you enter the turn low, it's going to be a real sharp turn once you get down here into the gravel, because you're turning real sharp to make this turn. But if you're high on the wall, you're taking a wide turn and it's much more open. The turn itself is bigger, longer, because you're up high. So you want to ride as close to the line as possible when you're on a turn. So now if you can't stay on the line for your entire ride, when would you want to get close to the line? And the answer to that is at the very beginning of the turn. You want to start your turn as high as possible. So you want to start your turn close to the line. If you start your turn down low, you're going to end up going up a wall to have to turn. But if you start up high, you can see it's a gradual transition from the floor to the wall. And having speed is going to keep your centrifugal force high, and it's going to keep you pressed against the wall. So going higher makes it easier. When you're skating a pump track, your goal is to cruise through the pump track with speed and grace without really trying to push hard. Speed is your friend. Speed is always your friend in the pump tracks, because once you're going fast, it's easy to maintain going fast. Okay, so we talked a lot about body position and body weight placement. You're high on a turn like this, where's my body weight? It's on the inside of the turn. It's going down the hill. So I ride goofy. So on this turn, I'll be this way, and my body weight is going to be mostly on my toes, you know, because I'm leaning this way. I'm leaning left. I'm going that way. And then opposite, if I were to take this turn backside, still start at the top of the hill and take it high, but my body weight's going to be on my heels. I'm leaning backside. Cool. Okay, so if you're starting and you're not going fast enough to stay on the red line, but you start close to the red line, now what's going to happen if you don't go fast enough to stay on the line? That's okay. You'll start up, and then just like the rest of the pump track, you want to be going down. So you'll start up high, and then you'll feel your centrifugal force. You're not going fast enough to stay on the wall, so you're going to start falling down. So you lean forward in the direction. So if I'm going right, most of my body weight is going to be at this point of contact. I'm pushing really down with my heel. So I'm going high, and then I push down with my heel and I go down the hill and then carry it out. And because you want you want a straight line when you're exiting the turn, because that's when you're trying to go the fastest, when you exit the turn. Cool, so now you're a little bit more comfortable, and I'm gonna explain some more advanced maneuvers at the pump track. An advanced move that's always good to have in your pocket is to be able to air out of the pump track. So, I mean, most of the time the turns are banked like that, but sometimes there's traffic, and sometimes you're going to hit the person in front of you, so you need to exit immediately, and it's good to have the confidence and to know how to just launch out. All right, so now we're airing out. Check it out. Cool. So when you air out, what you want is a straight angle, pretty much, because say you come out at an angle and your board's going to be sideways, you know, so your wheels aren't gonna be flat. So you would ideally you want to come straight at the bank, and that'll give you a straight launch out. That way your board and your wheels are landing all four wheels on the ground. Here's some things to be aware of when you're trying to air out of the pump track with the board. Your eyes, what are you looking at? When I'm cruising, I'm going, you know, obviously you want to see where you're landing, make sure there's nobody there, make sure you know where you're landing. And then once you're cruising, when you're in the air, what do you look for? So it took me a while to understand this. When I'm coming out, in my head, mentally, I'm focused on land on the board, land on the board, land on the board. So I'm looking at the front wheels, I'm making sure my foot is right where it needs to be, and then I overcorrect and want to land. So I push my feet down real fast because I want to be there. But if I push this down too fast, then the back wheels get caught up. So when you're going, you have to understand you're going fast enough. One, you really want to know you're confident to go fast enough to get your entire board out of the pump track. So a longboard, when I'm doing this, I'm looking forward, but I glance at the back wheels, and I don't try to land until I visually see that the back wheels are over the berm. Then I know if my whole board hits, I'm over it already. So don't push down your front foot until your back wheels are already out, and then push. And you know, you get it from there. This is a perfect example of an S-turn. And in this situation, when I'm skating this turn, and because I'm going left, all my body weight is going to be the ball of my front foot going down into this turn. And then I'm going to turn into the S-turn, and then I'm going to be going the other way. And I'm still going to be leaning down forward, but my body weight is going to be on my heel, pushing this side. And you're going to see my torso move and anticipating the flow in which way direction. And I'm going to lean with my body. First I'm going to lean left, and then I'm going to lean right, and you'll see the flow. The last pump track in Needles, my board wouldn't scrape any of the humps, but it scrapes on a couple of the humps here, which is good. So I can show you an example of what to do when that happens and how speed is your friend in those situations. Well, it's not doing it now, but when I'm on it, my weight will push into it. And you'll see it scrape and you'll hear it scrape. And if I was going slow, when I hit that, it would slow me down even more and put an abrupt bump in my flow. But if I'm going fast enough, the board scrapes, but you just hear it click and just goes right over. You can see how steep this is, and my board just scrapes right over it. You can see all the scrapes on the hump itself. So check and see, as I go over it, it'll scrape, but it doesn't affect my ride. Okay, so you can see I got the rails on there to prevent any damage to the custom artwork. But sometimes you can't help but to scrape the track. I hope that this video helped you cruise pump track a little bit better. So thanks for watching our video on how to longboard in a pump track. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and leave a comment down below